struggle. It's more like first world problems. Okay. Let me catch up to you guys. So by now everybody realizes that number one had all the same numbers. Let me give you, before I finish this out, let me just give you an idea of what we're trying to do. So at Grossmont, if you get below a C, is that good?
No.
All right. When you go to university, do you guys realize you can get a D- and pass and go to the next level? You guys know that? You guys realize that? Yes. So there are people building bridges out there that got D- in their classes. Think about that next time you're out there driving. Or going to the doctor. So let's say you're at university. And I'm sure everybody knows about a website that tells you people's opinions about teachers. Right? There's also another website that you have to pay a little bit, but it shows you the grade distributions of teachers, because that's actually public domain knowledge. And I know students always look for them easy ass A's. Oh well, no shit, but hey, it was easy. So let's say you're about to go take a class, and you know that I'm going to say Ted and Fred, right? And they're basically the exact same personality, everything, right? They're like clones of each other. But and they both give an average of a C to their students. You guys with me? They both give exactly a 75 average for their students. And you're trying to decide between the two of them, right? And the classes at the same time. Everything's the same. Except Ted gives B's through D's. And Fred gives A's through F's. Are you guys understanding? So you're at university, so D would mean you pass. So which one would you take?
The one that you can't fail.
See, I love it. I love it. You looked at me and said A through F. And you just looked at me and basically said B through D. So you can look at it two different ways. If I know I'm going to kick ass in that class, I'm not going to take the fool that never gives out an A. Right? I'm speaking from personal experience. An issue. I had the highest grade of the class, and then the guy gave me a B. Still irks me. Sorry. I'll get it. And then... So if you know you're going to kick ass, though, I'm going to take the one that actually gives out A's. But if I'm like, I don't know about this class, I'm going to take the person that doesn't seem to fail anybody. So knowing the average is not good enough to make a comparison. I have to know something else. So there is actually a number I can come up with that's a measure of how spread out the data is. Right? So if I know where the middle is and know how spread out the data is, those two numbers by themselves is enough to give me an idea of comparing between things. Are you guys semi with me here? So I want to know the center, and I want to know the spread. So the point of this whole thing is to show you that I have 4 data sets. From the first thing you did, they all seem to be the same. But you know when you look at them, they're not the freaking same, are they? They are not the same. Don't look at the mean, median, mode. They're all 13. But are the data sets the same? No. Hell no. Right? So now we're starting to look at how spread out they are. So that's why I asked you to do this one, to really show you how spread out things are. What did you get for a B here for this distribution?
1, 2, 4, 2, 1.
Okay. Remember, a good check always is to add up and make sure it adds up to the total. So it should add to 10. Notice this is symmetric. Do you guys see what I mean by symmetric? 1, 2, 4, 2, 1. Do, re, mi, fa, sol. Okay. What about for C, the third group? Yeah. This is what I call symmetric, but even more, I'd call it uniform. It's uniformly distributed. Everybody gets an equal amount. And then this one is the one that's gone the other extreme, sort of. I think it's 3 up here, right?
3, 1, 2, 1, 3.
Okay. All right, so let me ask you this. Looking at this, or even just looking at the numbers, to be honest, you can see it there too. Which group of data would you say is the least spread out? I love that. I get so many different answers. So spread means that I have data values that aren't all in the same place. Do we all agree that's what spread should mean? So which one is the least spread out? Because everybody's freaking the same. They're all here, right? They're all here in the middle. There's one that got a really low grade and one overachieving got that 20, right? Or you're cheating. You're sitting real next to the teacher's desk and you can see the key. And then which one would you say is the most spread out?
C.
I understand why you say C, but that's not quite right.
D.
D is the most spread out. And let me make it a little more specific. So in statistics, we want to consider the spread to be how far away from the mean do the data points get. So the more spread out data would be where they get away from the mean more. So the mean was 13. So which one gets away from the mean more? This one does. It had more extremes, right? Let me let that sink in for a second. Now, one thing you think might tell you the difference between those four is the range. But what's the range for every single set of data? What's the range for group A, group B, group C, group D?
Yeah.
High minus low.
Right.
14.
14. Every single one of them, the range is the same. So the range ain't good enough. Get out of range. So what we actually do is we create something called the standard deviation. It's a measure of the average distance that the data points get from the middle. Let me say that again. The standard deviation is the measure of how far away from the middle the data points get on average. So whatever this number is, it's going to be the smallest for this group, and it's going to be the biggest for this group, because it's got to measure how spread out it is. And we all agree now that this is the least spread out, and this is the most spread out. You guys semi with me? Not at all. Did I lose everybody? So, for example, in that teacher example, the A through F has a larger spread. They would have a larger standard deviation than the B through D. Does that make sense? So now numerically it's the same idea. This should have the least spread, because most of the data is bam. And this should have the most spread, because a lot more data gets away from the mean. Okay. All right. So this is good. We're going to get out early, because I wanted to lay the groundwork for section A3. I think we've done that. But it's kind of a freaky thing to get into, so I didn't want to try to shove it into the end of today's class. So this is beautiful where we are. I like it. Okay. Whew.
Wow.
That's plenty. So tomorrow I'm actually going to have the practice test, because our next test is March 15th, next Wednesday. What the hell, Jeff? Well, it's on your homework sheet. You've known it since the first day of class. Yes?
That day, or do you want it before that day?
On that day, if it's after that day, it'll be late, and you'll get fewer points back. Oh, thank you. Yes, please give me back my calculators. Thank you.